All right, so now that we've talked about how we want to attack in our 4-3-1 formation, I also want to talk about how we want to defend in our 4-3-1 formation. So in this picture here, you will see our 4-3-1, and this is likely when we are in possession of the ball that we are as spread out as possible. But when we lose possession of the ball, our goal should be to become as compact as possible. So a general rule is you don't defend outside the width of the box. So once the girls reach U13, the box will be an 18-yard box. But the box that they have now at their age is not quite 18 yards. It might be something like 14 or 15. So I'll just say defending within the width of the box. And what that means is every player should be within the distance of one side of the box to the other when you are out of possession of the ball or when you are defending. And then this is just showing you some movement. So if we have a player get dragged out wide, the whole team should actually be shifting across together to keep that width of the box intact, even if we have to leave the actual parameters of that box. Another defensive concept I want to talk about is the defensive triangle created between the two center backs and the defensive midfielder in the 4-3-1 formation. I thought we did a pretty good job for most of the first half of keeping a relatively short distance between our two center backs and our defensive midfielder. And what that does, especially when we're in possession of the ball, and we have our outside backs getting up forward higher up the field, is just gives us an extra layer of protection, having that defensive midfielder kind of break down plays and intercept passes before our center backs have to intervene. So I thought we did relatively well at that during the first half of our scrimmage this past Saturday. And that triangle, likewise with everyone else, should shift across the field as the ball moves when we are defending. And actually, even when we're attacking, the triangle should, for the most part, still be intact. When we're attacking, perhaps the defensive midfielder can get forward a little bit, but for certain defensively, they shouldn't be too far away from our center backs. So I've added some opposing players in red here. And what I wanted to kind of show you is why this triangle is so important in the back here. And the base of it is just to deny space to the opposition's forward, especially when they are in central areas of the field. So here we're going to have our center mid go out to pressure the ball. They're not going to get the ball. Instead, it's going to go into the opposing team's central midfielders. And as this triangle shifts, it kind of closes off any blaring passing angles into the other team's forward. And if they really want the ball and they're trapped inside this triangle, what they're going to have to do is go away from that triangle, which is actually also taking them away from central areas of the field, which is a defensive bonus, in my opinion. Anytime you can get the other team's forward going away from goal, I think we're doing a pretty good job. So it's really important that we try and keep that triangle intact as much as possible. It's also really important to get compact and stay close together to deny space. You will see at the moment the team in neon, that's us, is very spread out and we don't have possession of the ball. And there are just a lot of areas where our opposition can hurt us. So we want to get compact and close off all of these spaces and not allow the opposition to get into those spaces. Now I've highlighted the number 2 and number 11 on the right-hand side for a reason. That being when the ball is on one side of the field, or it's also called the strong side, on the weak side of the field where the 2 and 11 are right now, we oftentimes had our opposite outside back kind of following the other team's outside mids or wingers way out wide and left a huge gap between themselves and the closest center back. Now, even at like U17, U18, I have rarely seen a player be able to hit a ball from one side of the field 40, 50, maybe even 60 yards across to the other side of the field. So I wouldn't even be paying too much attention to number 11 on the opposing team right now. I'd be more worried about closing off that space in the middle and staying connected to my teammates. And then also remembering to get goal side, because a lot of times we saw this where the other team's outside mid was closer to the goal than our outside back on the weak side. So we just want to correct that and make sure we're on the inside shoulder or goal side of the opposite attacker. I also want to talk about how we pressure the ball when we don't have the ball. Generally speaking, again, teams at this age line up in a 3-2-3 or a 3-3-2. Most of the formations with 3 in the back. So when this happens and we're playing with 4 in the back, I would like for our central midfielders or attacking midfielders to be the ones who actually step and go pressure the ball when the outside backs of our opposing teams are in possession of the ball. So here you see our number 10 stepping out to go put pressure on number 2 of the opposing team. And what that does is allows our outside back to not have to worry about leaving their marker or the other team's outside mid, and we still maintain our advantage of 4 against 3 in the back. However, that's not exactly what we did. What I saw a lot of on Sunday was when we were out of position, our outside backs were the ones stepping to this ball to go pressure the opposing team's outside backs. And then oftentimes the ball would just get passed over one more and we'd be stuck in some trouble. And now you see we've lost our numerical advantage in the back and became more susceptible to attacks. So again, we just want to make sure when we're out of possession of the ball, outside back has the ball for the other team, our center mid's going to pressure. The center back of the other team has the ball, our forward needs to be the one to step and put pressure on that ball. And the ball moves over to the other side. Now their left back's got it. Our other center mid steps to go pressure that ball. And the rest of the team continues to shift, trying to keep everybody within the width of the box as the ball moves from side to side. It's pretty difficult to obtain that much discipline and shape, especially at this young of an age, but we will certainly try our best. I don't expect it to come off or be perfect anytime soon, but it's something we will start trying to work on this fall and then hopefully see if we can get it right. If not now in the fall, then certainly by spring and summertime.